front she had drawn caricatures. Caricatures are the funny pictures, cartoons of Mary and me with the words, "Here are some funny people. Did they make you laugh?" I laughed a lot as well. Inside was a message, "Oh, how I love you both." So, this card is to say thank you and let's hope for the best. Somehow we had to make it. So, these few paragraphs show the bravery of the two little children. Earlier, Jonathan just pumped or just told his father that he was not afraid to die till they all were all together. And here Sue gave the card to her parents, and in which she just drew the caricatures or the cartoon characters of Mary and her father. Mary, that is her mother, and her father, which made them laugh in those hours of stress. So, this paragraph also shows the bravery of this little girl. So, what does this paragraph say? We'll see, but before that, let's see to the meaning of the hard words. Now, what is sextant? Sextant, I told you that it is an instrument with graduated arc or 60 degrees for taking altitudes and navigation, that is to measure. The instrument which is used for measuring the angular distance between objects used in navigation and surveying. So, in this paragraph, now caricatures, as I told you, pictures of a person or a cartoon. So, in this paragraph, the narrator says that the ship made it through the storm, that it rode through the storm, and by the morning of January 6th, the narrator tried to get the reading on the sextant. He just calculated that how far they were from that Isle Amsterdam. He worked with wind speeds, drift, and current and calculated their position. That means he found out through that sextant that how far they were, and he calculated the wind speed also and the currents that were driving them. They were in 150,000 kilometer area of ocean, looking for a 65 kilometer wide island which was very very small in that vast ocean. While the narrator was still thinking, his daughter Sue joined him and she was in pain. The left side of her head was swollen and her blackened eyes had narrowed down to slits. That means her eyes had grown very small just because of the swollen head. She gave him a card which she had made herself. On the front of the card was a cartoon image of her parents with words written about them being funny people and how they made her laugh. On the inside of the card, she told them how she loved them both and she thanked them. This made the narrator realize that they had to make it to the island. That means the card of Sue boosted the narrator to find the way to save themselves and reach the island safely. Then further in the next paragraph, the narrator says, "I checked and rechecked my calculations. We had lost our main compass and I was using a spare which had not been corrected for magnetic variations. I made an allowance for this and another estimate of influence of westerly currents which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. About 2 p.m., I went on deck and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. We were lucky, I told him with a conviction. Conviction is a doubt. I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. Then, with a heavy heart, I went below, climbed my bunk. Bunk is the small shelf where which is used, or it is a bed, okay, you can say, on which he slept. Bunk, and amazingly dozed off. Dozed off means went off to sleep. When I woke, it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. I knew we must have missed the island, and with the sail we had left, we couldn't hope to beat back into the westerly winds. So, here in this paragraph, the narrator says that he checked and rechecked his calculations as he calculated the current and he calculated the distance of the island, and they lost their main compass and were using the spare one, which was not corrected for magnetic variations. Means the compass they were using was not the appropriate one. He estimated the influence of the westerly currents and flow through the Indian Ocean. Around 2 p.m., he went on deck and asked Larry to steer. Steer is to turn the wheel to 185 degrees. He felt if they were lucky, they would see the island by 5 p.m. Then he went down and slept on the bunk. He woke up around 6 p.m. and it was dark outside. He thought that they might have missed the island. He started worrying about how they would tackle the westerly wind more as the ship wasn't capable to sail more. His son came and asked him for a hug, and his daughter also followed. Then